Hello and welcome to another Full Court Press podcast, a college basketball experience. We got my guy Sammy D, and I'm supposedly Luke Taylor, or simply called as he calls me, LT. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. He actually follows us on Twitter, the fine gentleman to the left of me.
I do.
And so, give us a 5-star review because we could appreciate it. So this coach and I have a lot in common, okay? It's funny because we have the same birthday.
No way.
April 1st, baby.
Are you still like at this phase in life, mentally scarred by that from your youth, your childhood?
You don't know me too well.
I'm just asking.
Everybody finds out that Luke's April 1st. Not surprising.
April Fool's Day, baby.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, join the club, right?
I know.
Like we've gone through.
I know.
We've gone through.
I know.
I will say it is easy to remember your birthday every year.
Yes.
And now I know
Yes.
to remember your birthday, Coach.
Yep.
Yes. We'll have to. Yeah. Maybe you'll get something in the mail that we're wearing.
Hey,
Why
who
are we
knows?
dressed the same shit? Okay. So we got Coach Smiley from the University of Northern Colorado Bears in the lovely Big Sky. You guys are tied for second, and you guys are
That's right.
You guys are getting after it this year.
Yeah, no, it's been a good year so far, and obviously we got 3 games left, all on the road, and so that's a challenge at the end. But we've been a good road team all year, so we're looking forward to it, and just getting to the point where we'll be on the road for 7 days.
Oh.
And that's the difference in these levels, right? Like once you leave on the road, there's no charter flight.
Have you told the family yet you're gone that long?
They know. They know.
Are you telling them you're actually going to Hawaii on a vacation?
No, they know we're going to be in Pocatello and Ogden and Flagstaff. But they know. But so we're trying to embrace it.
Yeah.
Really, in the sense like if you're going to win the Big Sky tournament in Boise the next week, that's 6 days. So hey, let's just use the travel time to kind of embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you were the associate head coach here at UNC, and then took over basically when COVID hit, right?
Yep.
And then since then, NCAA's made different changes here and there. What's it been like since you've taken over as head coach? I mean, you've had to deal with things in the past 4 or 5 years that I don't think there's been as much chaos as a head coach.
Yeah. It's cool, doing this interview now that I actually just listened to your guys' interview with Coach Linder, and he talked about
apologize.
Hey, it's all good. That's my
more
that was
for
my
us,
boss.
not him.
Yeah, that was my boss. That's my guy, and listening to his interview on when he got hired during COVID at Wyoming, right? So same thing, and it brings me back to just kind of the memories of. I think I was the first virtual conference to introduce myself as being the head coach. Wow. Same thing, he got hired, then I was lucky enough to get promoted out here, and it was like myself, 15 feet away was the AD, Darren Dunn, another 15 feet away was the president, Andy Feinstein, and then our mascot, Claus, was somewhere. And then
with a mask.
Yeah, and then the only people that were there was my wife and my 2 kids, and they're off, and it's like pitch black in the arena, and it was just goofy. And so I think you knew going into it that, this is going to be interesting. And go back to your question. It just there's just been a lot of challenges, but same thing. You're signing kids on Zooms and Synergy and YouTube. Yeah, and that's how you're evaluating kids, is like watching their YouTube clips, and that is a dangerous way to recruit and have your first Division I head coaching job. These things are so hard to get, and you work your whole life, you get a chance to, and you're watching YouTube, and you're scratching your head saying, "What am I doing?"
Any good mixtapes though with music?
All kinds of mixtapes. You see it all. You see the whole thing. And so going through that and same thing. Staff did a great job of us building a roster to maintain being competitive. Coach Linder built it into such a monster when he was here. This has been a hard job, and as you guys have mentioned, he won 20 games 3 of the 4 years he was here, and really the only year we didn't. We were postseason banned, and we sat out about 6 guys. Because it was their senior year, and we redshirted all those guys because we're like, hey, look, you're not going to have your last year in college be where you can't even play for anything because it was from the previous situation. So, it was a challenge, and then you start getting all this stuff. I'm sure we'll ask about the portal and NIL and stuff. It's every day something new hits.
Yeah, and it's tough at being a mid-major program.
Sure.
Because you're kind of almost ripe for the picking. I hate to say that, but I mean, you went through it. Obviously, one of the best players in the Division I is at Tennessee, Dalton Connect. Yep. And it's like he was here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you recruited him.
Yeah, we just actually had it's a good story. We just had a article in the local newspaper, the Greeley Tribune, came out, and they interviewed Dalton and they interviewed me and talked about his time here and now what he's doing at Tennessee. And again, it's like you just have to embrace it.
Does he want to come back?
Like to visit?
No, like to come play again. Because I mean, with the transfer portal,
you can probably come back
tomorrow. Yeah, right.
There's probably no rules anymore, but we're really proud of him. But 4 years ago, you'd be so upset and they couldn't play right away. But now it's like, well, and he's that rare kid that went on, moved up about 3 levels.
Crazy.
You're talking the cream of the crop, and now he's going to be the SEC Player of the Year and a lottery pick. And so we're very proud of him.
But even so, I mean, we've had other coaches and it's like, NIL is not really prevalent in the mid majors. It's just budget, and I mean, it's you're trying to get alumni to donate money, and it's like, well, we need facilities, we need operations, and now we need NIL. Like you can't have 3 baskets. But like you're hearing, like who did we have? Medved was talking about the backup quarterback at Colorado State went to Florida for what, like $700,000 or something ridiculous?
Enough.
He's going to be 3rd string.
Yeah.
I mean, so how if Dalton comes in and says, hey, they're going to give me $300,000, you're like, what are you going to say? You're an idiot? I mean, that's the problem.
It is honestly life-changing money for those kids.
Yeah.
And especially when you start talking about numbers, somewhere in that ballpark, that it's so much money. And as you mentioned, we can't even get close to that. And the donors, and we have a great donor base, and they do a ton for us. But they also have to help. When you don't have TV money, right, like the big networks, you don't have that TV money. Now the donors, you're right, they have to help with facilities and all this different stuff. And our donors have done a great job, but it is hard because at some point, you're going to rob Peter to pay Paul, and they can't do it all.
Yeah. So just the last question about Dalton, like, what's that like during kind of that process, right? I mean, are you talking to Rick Barnes during this time? Is there any communication there when you groomed Dalton into this player where, of course, he's going to get looked at, right?
Well, I think every situation is different. If we go back, 1 year earlier, we had another player that was similar, Koor John Cooch. And Koor started for us for 4 years. We actually signed him. He played 1 year of competitive basketball out of London, Canada, and turned into probably the best big in our league by the last year. He graduated here, and then he wanted to get in the portal and try something new, so he went to Temple. So I did talk to the Temple staff. With Dalton's situation, no, I did not talk to Tennessee, and that's fine. Just every situation is a little different. But yeah, once he came in and kind of said, hey, look, this is what I want to do, we embraced him and said, hey, man, good luck with it. You're nervous for the kids because sometimes it's
the wrong decision.
It doesn't
Grass
work.
Is not always greener, right?
It certainly worked for him, and he earned that.
So then you move into the off season and you bring in St. Thomas, right? Like, what was that experience like? Because we interview him, and he just said he just felt at home here. You're very welcoming, and so there's 2 sides of the transfer portal, right?
It giveth and it taketh, right? So, and the thing is this, that not just him, but the big picture of our program. It was our first losing season. It's the first losing season I've had in my career. We were 12-20. We lose not only Dalton Connect, but we lose 2 professional guards, Dalen Kuntz, who really the year before should have been the player of the year in the league, and Matt Johnson. They both go pro in Europe. And you're like, this is a problem. So, we had 8 returners, and I'm very grateful for all those returners, but it wasn't like they were crazy productive players. All the production was gone. And so our goal, big picture in the the portal and JUCO and everything like that, was like, hey, we got to get what we think are proven ready guys. We got to stay away from young kids in this current class. Same was a big piece of that. When he came in, he actually came on his visit with our second leading scorer, DeJour Reeves. And luckily they hit it off. And on his visit, DeJour committed. Saint didn't commit, but we knew we really liked it. And I think we just kind of hit it off, just the personality. Didn't know really what to expect. Obviously, very, very unique and strange story in terms of, as he left from Loyola Chicago. So just really enjoyed his visit. And about 1 or 2 days later, he did the FaceTimes that he's in. So we felt like with both those kids, okay, now we got a couple of really good players coming in. We can start building this thing. So they were the first 2 in the spring. We signed 1 kid in the fall, Makai Cameron. But those are the first 2 in the crazy chaos of the spring recruiting. That was a big start to that class.
Yeah. Shout out to Dalen Kuntz, man. He was a player.
He was great.
It was great. Did you expect Saint to be putting up the numbers so quickly this season?
Well, you never expect it, to ever say, oh yeah, I bet you're going to score 20 and 10 and have the best statistical season in the history of the school, and the school that's had a bunch of good players. You don't expect that. But I will say this, even going back to his visit and watching him on his visit, I was like, man, he's really talented. One, if he can get into shape, because he hadn't played in 3 months. He was working out, but he hadn't played like a lot of these kids. If he gets into shape, if he's an everyday guy, this and that, he has a chance to be really good. And by the time he got here June 1st in the summer, he was dialed in from the first day.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you've had an interesting coaching career. You've been NIAA, junior college, D1. Were you D2 or D3 also? Or
Oh,
no?
yeah.
Okay, so
Not D3, but
Okay.
every other level. Yep.
Okay, every other except for junior varsity high school, right?
Except for that. Okay. Except for that.
What would you say the biggest difference from like NIA, junior college, D2, D1 to like where you're at now?
Well, they're all different. JUCO's its own animal, and I was a head coach there for 6 years, and it's an awesome level, and it probably has served me very well in terms of what we're dealing with now in Division I because you're signing probably more than half your team every year. It's 2 years, but at the end of the day, if you have a couple freshmen that are good and they're academic qualifiers, you're not going to keep them. So we were, re-signing 8, 9, 10 kids a year at JUCO. So when it's like, hey, you got to sign 5 guys this year, that must be a disaster. Like, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I think it's more so too like how does your place stack up in the league? So like I was a Division II player for the great Don Meyer, the late great Don Meyer, and I was lucky enough to be his assistant. That was the best job in the league. So it was like it was a great job. I was down at Texas A&M International in its second year in NAIA Division II in the Red River Conference with my friend Tarvis Felton, who's in New Mexico now. That was a really hard job. We're on the border of Mexico, and it was the start of that program at that time. So I think it's a lot more so like how do you stack up in your league? And every job's got challenges, but those are all totally different than Division I in terms of how you travel, how you eat, and probably the biggest thing though is time commitment, not just from the staff but from the kids, because the kids are here all summer long. Like it never stops.
Like go home.
Yeah,
like go home.
That's right. Give them a couple weeks.
It's like my kids. Like don't come home.
Go
somewhere else.
Exactly.
You know what? Go to UNC with Coach Smiley. We're going to send you.
There you go.
So we do this little thing, and maybe we'll get you to actually rename it. So we call it what do we call it? The shot clock.
Call it the shot clock.
It's never 45 seconds. It's kind of painful because we ask some off the cuff questions, and coaches get stumped. So I'm just going to ask you some questions. It's going to be very quick and painless. It's not going to be quick, but it's going to be that might not be painless.
I feel sorry for you, LT. I don't know if you know this, but Coach Smiley was valedictorian in his high school.
Whatever.
He's
did some research.
He's going to be.
Might get stumped.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see.
All right, so let's put him valedictorian. I think I dated the valedictorian in high school. Best recruiting story. And if you've done JUCO in some of these man, you've got some good ones.
I do. Best recruiting story. I would say probably the best story is that when I was an assistant for Coach Linder, I was doing a lot of international recruiting. So I was in Europe, and the whole thing kind of connected through London. Like we still have our big kid Theo Hughes, who is technically a senior now. Anyways, we would go to these academies, or I would go to these academies that were all kind of built to recruit college kids to the States, so their amateurism was protected. So I'm in Prague with a good friend of mine, and after watching the kids, I'm like, hey, you have to show me downtown Prague. So we go down to downtown Prague, have a good time, eat a bunch of local food, and just stay out way too late. I've got my alarm set the next day, but I'll just say we stayed out too late. And so we stayed out too late. By the time I woke up, my alarm had been going off for about 3 or 4 hours. Now I was at the airport, and that's fine. But the problem is that my hotel room the next night was in London, and I was worried, like, if I don't get back to London, I'm flying home the next day. So I run across across the tarmac at the Prague airport. It's like, okay, what do I do? They're like, well, you got to buy a new flight. So I'm embarrassed, and I'm not asking the school to pay for my flight. Like, this one's on me. So got to pull out my personal credit card, and I got to put a flight on my card to get back to London on the day of the flight, like 2 hours before the flight, just to get back now with a very small window to get back home. So, in our world, we call those self-inflicted wounds, and that was a self-inflicted wound.
How much it cost you?
I think in American dollars, it was like $300, something like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like
$36,
but it was enough that I was not thrilled to expend those funds, but it's all I could do.
But you know what it taught you? When the alarm goes off the first time, you're getting your ass up.
That's right.
And deal with it. Yeah.
That's right.
And look where you're at here.
You got to get up. Okay, arena you've always wanted to coach in.
One that we haven't been to yet, at least out here, would be like, I'd say, Fog. And then even like I've been to Cameron Indoor Stadium, just kind of touring with my college team, but never coached in KU or at Duke. We've had some great experiences with some of the teams that we have had to play since we've been here at UNC, but I would probably say Kansas or Duke.
Yeah, okay, those are good. One word to describe UNC.
The school or the team or?
University.
You're the valedictorian. Figure it out, man.
One word to describe UNC.
One word, not two.
I'd say community.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a couple syllables. That's pretty
It's
impressive.
one word, though.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yeah.
If they were going to change the name from UNC to something else, what would you call the university or college? I feel like we should ask Michael that question.
What would you did stump me on this one.
The smart guy got stumped.
Well, I see the trend with a lot of schools out here start, latching on to kind of CU and CSU Pueblo and CU this,
Yeah.
Maybe that helps them financially or whatever. So maybe that's what it would be.
Just like CU Greeley.
Yeah, something like
There
that.
you go.
Maybe.
Okay.
I do now say this too. Greeley State. We used to be called Greeley State.
Greeley State.
Let's go with Greeley.
I like
State.
Greeley State better, actually.
College or university?
You got to go university.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
GSU.
GSU, baby.
There we go. I like
GSU,
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Song that best describes you.
What would your walkout song be if you could pick it?
Man, well, when I was a player back in '99 in high school, we came out to the intro from DMX's first album.
What you really want?
Yeah, I think it was just called Intro.
Yeah, the intro.
You had no edited version, so you had to fast forward. But that's probably what
CD
it would be.
player.
I
just
went
like
to Catholic high school. You press the tape, and it's like, we got to skip that part.
All right.
Every now and then, I still hear that song. So that
Yeah,
is
fires
the
you
song.
up a little, huh?
99.
I love it.
cool.
I love it.
All right, so this Coach Linder didn't answer the question because he says he doesn't listen to music. What song best describes Coach Linder?
Oh man.
He said the same damn thing.
He does listen to music. He sold you guys short. Not a lot of music. He's more of a podcast and radio.
He did say that, yeah. He said
That's the deal.
8 a.m. radio. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you, 100?
That's
Do you read the newspaper on
Yeah.
Sundays too?
His song though, he would always reference some 90s rock songs
Yeah.
for guys, and I didn't know what they were either. But I couldn't give you a song. I mean, who knows?
He said Metallica. What was the other one?
Yeah, 90s rock.
Pearl Jam or something like
Yes,
that.
that's what
So
we're talking about.
he was like, I don't listen to music, but he kind of gave
Yes.
us,
We're on the same
so,
page.
ooh,
Yeah,
it's
all
all good.
Well,
It's
you
all
won
good.
nothing. You got nothing. You're still the valedictorian of my heart. So,
Yes,
Sam, finish
that.
him off.
Yeah, Coach Smiley, we're going to turn it over to you kind of last minute. If there's anything you want to share with the Bear Faithful, anybody in Greeley, Boosters, alumni, student section, you guys got 3 big games coming up before conference tournament. What's the message in the locker room right now? What are you guys looking to do?
Yeah, I just think for whether it's our community or our fans or whatever, just that we've had a great year so far. But at the end of the day, we still have some goals that we're trying to reach, and that's regular season. But ultimately, the goal from day one is to play our best basketball in Boise in March. And this team, honestly, from June and July, has had an unbelievable kind of just focus, camaraderie, chemistry, all that, all those buzzwords. And even though we got beat, in a great game against Eastern Washington last weekend, it has not hurt our resolve. I think our guys are even hungrier now, and I think we'll have a great practice today and tomorrow to keep it moving. But just know that we're excited to get out there and compete and put it all on the line.
Yeah. Would you rather have won on Saturday or in the conference final?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the conference final,
Right.
just the way to get to March Madness. And I'll give you just one more quick story. We 2 years ago we lost in the Big Sky Championship, so we were 40 minutes from March Madness. Danny Sprinkle, Montana State beat us.
Yep.
Great team, and obviously he's going to probably be the national coach of the year at Utah State this year. Good friend of mine. And
You're happy you left, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no complaints. But,
Yeah,
we beat them at our place, and then we went to their place on senior night, so the last game of the regular season. And we were down 2 with 12 seconds left. We got a steal, and a great player named Bodie Hume, who's now in the BBL in Germany, hit a 3 in the corner, and that was a sold-out arena. It was crazy. Hits the 3. 2 seconds left. A guy named Raekwon Battle, who I was watching on TV last night for West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Hits about a 45-footer that was the SportsCenter top 10 number 1 play, and it's the only play that keeps getting replayed throughout the course of time. And I actually showed our guys because we went from jubilation to heartbreak in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Crazy.
Last game of the year, but then again in the course of 1 week, next thing you know, we're in the championship, and they beat us, but we got back to the championship. Yeah. And that was the message to the guys, hey, that was disappointing. We had a great game. They beat us, a couple possessions here and there, whatever. But let's learn from it. Let's just keep moving on. We got a great chance to make a run up here in Boise.
Awesome. Well, we'll be cheering for you in the Big Sky Conference, and hopefully you'll be dancing. And I'll be in Pittsburgh, so maybe you can join me in Pittsburgh. We go dancing together.
Let's see what happens.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Coach.
All right, so we got the man, the myth, the legend, Nebraska's finest son, Now, we have something in common, Saint. I went to actually St. Thomas High School.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, isn't that pretty cool? And your name, so was it named after you?
I wish I could say that, but it's not named after me.
Well, welcome to the Full Court Press
Thank you for
Podcast.
having me, man.
Yeah, man. 6'7" junior guard from Omaha, Nebraska, transferred from Loyola, Chicago, just putting up numbers game after game for University of Northern Colorado Bears this year. What's it been like coming out to Greeley and putting up stats like you are this year?
Really for me, like, I don't know if you guys heard, but like I left Loyola because like due to mental health reasons, and I kind of left like 10 games into my sophomore year, and kind of just went home and kind of just found myself and who I was outside of basketball, and kind of like that was like my main thing. Like I didn't know who I was outside of basketball, and basketball was my identity, so I let it control like who I was and how I went about my day. So if I had a bad practice, I was really just a bad person to me, like I thought. And so just wanted to go back home, and I knew that's who I wasn't. Like I wasn't that type of person, and kind of just found myself and found the love for the game again, and working out with my trainer Adam Barnes, and just being surrounded by the people I love. And I guess the reason for me to come to Northern Colorado is, in the portal is just basically I wanted to come to a coaching staff that was approachable and like understands where I'm coming from. Like I know I'm coming off of mental health, so there was already like a risk at taking me. And I just told him, like, once I feel comfortable and I get to find myself, I'll be the best version of who St. Thomas is. And so, I mean, I came here and he was just open arms, and he kind of just talked to me and was just like, if you have a bad day, just let me know. And kind of that was just big for me, just like little details like that. Like, I can let him know if I have a bad day, and he'll just be like, okay, you're going to practice today, but I at least know that you're having a bad day. So if something like happens or I see it in your face, I know. So it's not like you're being a bad teammate or being a bad person. Like that's all I wanted out of a coaching staff and out of my teammates, and me expressing that to my team that what was going on.
Yeah, and it's tough because we were in college and we know what it's like. You have a bad game and you think it's your fault, and then you have a bad test and that's your fault. And I think it's good of you to recognize that when you did. And obviously you're in a great place. I mean, you're almost double-double. Why aren't you a double-double yet? What's up with the rebounds? Can I give you some advice on rebounds? Let me give you some advice, okay, from a guy that played basketball a long-ass time ago. So miss a little bit, okay? But make sure
it's your own rebound.
Yeah, but make sure it's a calculated miss. So then you get. Have you heard of Dennis Rodman?
Oh yeah.
I mean he missed shots to get rebounds. So next game, don't tell Coach Smiley. Oh shoot, we got Mike here. But don't tell Coach Smiley that. And your points might go down, but your rebounds will go up.
But I think my points might go up because I get the rebound and can lay it right
That's
back
true.
up.
That's true.
There you
That's
go,
true.
there you
Field
go.
goal percentage would go down though.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations for finding a home in Greeley and the process you took to get here. I could definitely see it being an example for other student athletes out there with the process that you took, the time you took to really find a coaching staff that wanted to accept you and bring you into your own, and like you said, make you the best version of St. Thomas that you can possibly be. I mean, you're putting up 19.8 points a game, that's 35th in the country, 9.8 rebounds a game, that's 21st in the country. We just learned you're the first player in school history to put up 500 points, 250 rebounds, and 100 assists in one season. So it's you've done like a complete 180, from where you were at, a year ago to where you're at now. Talk a little bit about your teammates, I mean, do you feel like you guys are gelling as a team right now? You're tied for second in the Big Sky, got some big games coming up. What's kind of the attitude in the locker room right now?
I'll say the attitude, I mean, I'll start off by saying I love playing with these group of guys. I mean, that's another thing in the portal. I told Smiley, like, I wanted to go to a school that has culture because, I mean, coming from Loyola, Chicago, that's what they breathe culture. And so I wanted to come to a school that there was going to be culture in the locker room. There's going to be good talk in the locker room, no negative talk. And kind of just like what we preach every day in practice, like our team really just like we want the same success for each other as we want for ourselves. Like kind of like, I mean, if you watch us out there on the court, we're hit a three, and everybody's like, it looked like everybody hit the three because everybody's celebrating it and so excited. And like throw a dime, everybody has the goggles. Like it's just fun playing with this group, and I mean, there's no selfishness to this group, and we're all, like I said, just there's a big culture group, and I think that's why we're going to win and go far in March.
Yeah.
Love it.
You like dancing?
Oh, yes. I went dancing once, and we lost to Ohio State. So
Don't say that. You cannot. There's a couple things you can't say on this podcast. COVID, Ohio State, and there's a third
I'm
one.
from Nebraska, so I do not like
All right, let me ask you something. Could Coach Fee pull off these shoes? Because he's a sneakerhead, right?
Coach Valentine's a
Coach
sneakerhead,
Valentine's.
yeah,
could he pull those off? Those
He could
size 40?
definitely- He could definitely.
I don't know, man.
You know,
I don't
Coach
know.
Valentine has he got
Yeah.
the Drew sneakers, all that.
Yeah. So talk about the transfer portal, the transfer process. You obviously, went home, obviously got some help. You're doing real well. What kind of schools did you look at?
Really, it was kind of all over the place. I mean, entering the portal, I mean, you get schools that hit you. I mean, especially coming from Loyola, so there was a bunch of schools that was interested in, like, why is he leaving, like, what's going on, just because, I mean, Loyola is not really like a transfer-heavy school. They get in transfers, but they don't really get people to leave. I mean, because it's just a program that you would want to play for and great atmosphere. And I just knew it kind of it wasn't Loyola, it wasn't my time to be playing basketball at that point. So, and I never blamed them. I love the school, love the atmosphere, love the city of Chicago.
Yep.
But I would say just the portal was it was all over the place. I heard schools from high majors to low majors to, you might even have to come JUCO. You might have to play Division II. And so it was like it was all over the place. It was kind of interesting because it kind of humbled me and kind of just like realized like where I'm at and kind of just like I need to start from the ground up back like how I started in high school. I knew like kind of going into college, like winning a state title and like just coming off we had 5 Division I basketball players on my high school team. That's an interesting
wild,
fact.
man.
Like, you don't hear that from Omaha, Nebraska.
And there's only one basketball.
Exactly. So, I mean, he was top 6 in the country, Hunter Salas. He goes to Wake Forest, like my best friend. So, I mean.
He's okay.
He's
okay. Wake Forest okay. He's okay. They're okay. They just had a pretty big game a couple days ago.
Big win against Dukies.
Beat Duke and nothing about it.
Has he said anything about the court storming?
I think he was lost in the moment. He was just happy. But I told him after the game, and he was like, I didn't even realize that. And
Well, you don't, right? You're in the moment. Because, I mean, listen, court storming has been happening since, like, the beginning of basketball.
Yes.
Okay? You get a good win and stuff like that. Obviously, they have to do some better measures because, listen, students, maybe not the team or the staff and stuff like that, but there's students that are so inebriated that, they see, like, the middle of the court, and they're going to get there as fast. I mean, you saw the one guy ran him over.
Yeah.
He got, like, right up. I've never seen a guy move that fast.
Yeah.
So who knows?
A lot of thoughts about that.
We're good. We're good. Yeah.
I mean, it is fun to do that, but we also got to make sure our players have
absolutely.
safety.
Absolutely. You want to get them on here? You want to get them on?
Let's do it. You said you went home, kind of learned a little bit how you are outside of just a basketball player, right?
Yeah.
So we have a little game called we call it the shot clock.
We got to change it. Though.
We're going to change the name
it.
eventually
I know
because
we're
it
gonna
goes a
change it
lot
too.
longer than a traditional shot clock. But LT is going to list off like 6-7 questions.
Okay.
First thing that comes to mind, just let us know, one word, one sentence, tell a story, whatever comes to mind.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Let's
ready?
get it, LT.
All right. Who is averaging the most personal fouls a game on your team?
Either me or Brock.
It's Brock. 2.9 personal fouls a game.
Nice.
What are you ranked as a team in the Big Sky for personal fouls?
First.
9th.
Ooh.
Good job. And that's funny because you're such a good rebounder. You usually get fouls.
Yes.
Favorite college class?
I would say surprisingly public communications. I mean, just like
Nice.
public speaking.
Yeah.
My fault.
I could see it. I could see it.
That's all right. I got a master's in PR and advertising. Has served me no help in life. You keep going. One word to describe UNC.
Homie.
Really? I didn't realize the Tar Heels are homie. Do people get confused with that all the time? Not around here, but like outside.
Yes, when we go out and we're like
Michael, the SID is shaking.
we're wearing UNC gear. There's like
The Bears. We're the Bears.
Where UNC are you guys? I didn't know they were Under Armour.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, where's the Jumpman logo? One word to describe Coach Smiley.
I'm gonna say approachable.
Okay. Favorite cafeteria food?
Ooh. You know, I'm a big salad bar guy. So I'll say
Yeah,
that.
salad bar.
Was it pretty good?
Salad
here?
bar at Loyola was fire.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, it's okay. Okay. All right. Who is the funniest teammate?
Oh. I would either say Langston Reynolds or Brock.
Okay. Brock also fouls a lot of people, but he's also pretty funny. Best dancer on the team?
Best dancer. I'll go with Marcel.
Okay. He's a good dancer.
Yeah.
And then what about, I got to be in tune with the younger crowd. Who is the best rapper?
Best rapper right now? Right now, because we're in season, I like to be on, like, my, like, kind of, like, laid-back music.
Yeah.
So, kind of just, like, right now, I listen to Rod Wave a
Okay.
lot. Yeah.
Is he a teammate of yours?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Who's the best rapper? Who's a teammate?
As a teammate?
Yeah.
Actually, better what? Who's the worst rapper as a teammate? We'll make it easier.
Who tries and you're just shaking your head?
It's like, dude, you got to just stop.
I would say this is one team that does not try to rap.
Really?
I don't think
Okay.
nobody
Yeah,
can
no,
rap.
nobody can
I
do
would
it.
say we're all bad.
All right.
Okay. So, of the coaching staff, who's the funniest, the best dancer, and the best singer?
Okay. Coaching staff, the funniest, definitely Houston Reed.
Yeah.
I mean, bigger guy just loves to give you
Yeah,
hugs.
yeah.
Like,
Love it.
best dancer. Oh.
Why does every player struggle with the coaches?
Probably because
I've never seen.
I was going to say
dance. I don't know.
we're asking them in the middle of the season when UNC goes and wins the Big Sky, they're going to be dancing in the locker room
Yeah. Oh,
afterwards.
yes.
We'll have to,
Who do you not want to see dance? It's always usually the head coach. The head coach is
Yeah, I'm
always.
sorry, I don't want to see.
All right, Coach Smiley is the worst dancer. Okay, that's cool.
He said it, not you.
That's
man.
cool. Whatever.
It's all good.
Who is the, I guess, best singer of the
Best
coaches?
singer. I'll go with Houston Reed. I mean,
Okay.
he's just loud and just embraces it. So
Seems like he's a
Animated guy.
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
international man of mystery. Okay, last question. What song best describes you? Kind of like your walkout song. Like if you're a WWE wrestler, what song would you come out to? And it could be explicit if you need to, because every song now is like got swearing all
we've
over.
heard
the
it.
place.
We've heard everything
Yeah.
on this question.
I would guess I'd say First Day Out by T Grizzly.
Someone's used that before.
First day out by
Yeah,
T.
someone
yeah,
has
we'll
that.
have
Not that I'm coming out of jail, but I guess
Yeah.
it's just a
This
brand
is-
new start to like.
Yeah, it's your coming out
how
party
I'm
this
playing,
year.
The beat's
yeah.
good.
So,
The beat's
yeah.
good. Okay, last question. I'm going
Love
to
it.
leave you be. One song that describes Coach Smiley.
You got something in your mind.
I know, just
you could
say
say
it.
it.
Come
You
on,
could
say
say
it.
it.
I don't know. I would say it's a newer song just because it's.
It could be anything,
joyful.
yeah.
I would say it's called 2 Days Into College.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know that song. Who sings
It's
that?
just I don't even know. It's just,
We'll have to look it up, man.
It's on TikTok,
Yeah.
and every time I listen to it, just Smiley's just like smiling. in
You
the
got it?
background.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome,
man.
Well, you won nothing. You got nothing. You didn't graduate. So
Just a fun
you gotta
little
get
questions, get to know you a little bit better,
Yeah,
man.
but it
so we
also goes
appreciate
like
it.
3 minutes. That's the problem.
I know. It's
So whatever.
yeah. The shot clock
Yep.
went off 2.5
Yep.
minutes ago. It's all
That's
good.
all right.
Well, say, man, we appreciate you having hosting us here at UNC, man, in Greeley, Colorado. And I'm turning the platform over to you, man. If there's anything you want to share to the UNC Bear faithful fans, student section, alumni, like anything you guys are looking forward to. You guys got 3 big games coming up before the conference tournament. I'll kind of turn it over to you, man.
I guess I'll just say thanks for having me and just giving me a community that's just accepting and accepting me with open arms and letting me play my best basketball and being my best version of myself. And man, I think we could take this to March, and I think we can win this conference. So
Yeah.
I say go Bears.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do it, baby.
go
Go
Bears.
Bears. Yeah, man. You
Well,
are
yeah.
one of the most electric players on the court this year, man.
Yeah.
You've
Get
made
those rebounds up, though.
Yeah, we want to see double stats before the end of the year, man.
Double at one point, and I
Yeah.
kick myself every day
Yeah,
for it. So I
yeah.
got you.
It's all
Don't
good, man.
force it,
Yeah,
though. The worst you can do is force it.
You've put yourself on the map on a national scale, and it seems like UNC is just so proud to have you here, man.
Yes.
So we appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you, man.
Well,
Thanks for
Kate,
having me.
thanks for joining us. Thanks for representing UNC Bears so well. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review, and follow us on all our Instagram, Twitter, and all that other crap that I'm supposed to promote. And if you love the show, you like the show, and you want us to keep continue, which I have a hard time believing sometimes, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We'll be back next week on the Full Court Press podcast. I'm going to say it. You're not going to say it.
A college basketball
experience. No, I'm gonna turn you off. Okay.